Hello, my name is Annette DeLu, and you are listening to The Heart of You. Hello, everyone, and I hope you had a really wonderful week this week. Today's channeled message is going to be a bit of an unknown, because I think I just want to have the guides tell us a little bit about what they want us to hear. In addition, we're going to cover the topic that I had mentioned in last week's channeled message, which was regarding writing a spiritual will. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit today because it came up in a client session last week. And it was a message that my guides had given me. And I was like, wow, that's really fascinating. And it's not something I have ever heard of. And it's not something I've heard of anybody actually doing. So I feel like it's important to talk about. We often spend a lot of time preparing for life, for birth. And I've talked about this with some of my guests on this podcast. And that when it comes to death, we have a tendency to avoid it. We avoid the subject, we avoid planning for it, we avoid all of it, right? So when it comes to writing a will, preparing for what happens if you are no longer here, it really is important to not only think about your loved ones, because that's usually what people do, is that they think about their loved ones and how they're going to be taken care of or what they're going to have to do after you pass. And it's very rare that people think about what they need to do for themselves. And this is where a spiritual will comes in. We often have soul contracts. We often have vows. We often have all sorts of things that happen within a lifetime. And if you are listening to this, this means that you are definitely on the spiritual path and that you would be open to this sort of practice. What I would encourage you to do is find somebody who you can trust, who is spiritually aligned with you, to be able to carry out these wishes. So it's something that I definitely knew that I needed to do for my father. I had gotten the message early on that there was going to be a possibility that I would have to help him cross over. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. Thankfully, he was able to cross over on his own. And I think it was due to a few of the conversations that he and I had had prior to his passing. So that can always sort of help in the last moments before somebody crosses over, to help them get an Akashic reading if they're open to it, help them clear the decks, so to speak. So if you can do this work prior to the person dying, you can really help them as they incarnate into the next life. So if you are the person that is more spiritually aware, and let's say the person who is dying is spiritually open, but maybe not necessarily as aware as you are about the Akashic records and vows and soul contracts and all of that, making a suggestion to do that is a really beautiful thing to do, because it will help them not only cross over, but it will help them not have to have certain people in their life in the next lifetime. I've talked about this before as well, where there are people we have in our lifetimes now that we didn't need to have in our lifetime, but the sole reason for that person being in our life is that we needed to complete a soul contract and it needed to be null and void, so to speak. So you end up having to reincarnate with that person again in order to fill the soul contract or to cancel the soul contract. Either way, you're gonna have to reincarnate with this person if this is not cleared before you cross over in the previous lifetime. So allowing that space for you and your loved ones who are open to this to really talk about it and say to each other, hey, if this happens, would you be willing to contact this person, this medium, this friend, whoever it is that you have, that you know, that you trust, that could do contract clearing, vow clearing, who can help the person cross over, all of those things. And if you have a person in your life that can do that, that's really beautiful. If you don't, you can always contact me, any other trusted medium that you have in your repertoire of coaches, anybody that you know that does this can really help you and your loved ones before they cross over. So consider writing that spiritual will for yourself and write down your wishes, write down what you would like to have happen. And this is a really beautiful segue to the next Heart of You episode, which is not going to be this week. I'm actually taking this week off. So it's going to be the following week, which is August 16th. That interview is going to tie in really beautifully with this subject matter because I interview Suzanne Anderson, and her book, You Make Your Path by Walking, is a beautifully written book. I've now read the whole thing. When I did the interview, I had only read half of the book, and it is a beautiful step-by-step memoir of how to move through the process of grief when somebody in your life unexpectedly dies. Definitely stay tuned for that episode. Like I said, it's going to be August 16th. This week I'm taking a little break, and I hope this information is really helpful for you, and I hope it's reaching the people that it needs to reach. If you have somebody in your life who is going through this process with a loved one of being ill, possibly crossing over soon, make sure you share this with them because it might help them going into the next lifetime. You know, we don't often think about what's going to happen in the next lifetime. We look often at past lives, and it's going to start being really important to start looking ahead and what we want to create for our future lifetimes, because that's working in tandem with our soul to be able to create what we want to create. So now we are going to go into the channeled message. This is just going to be a general message for everyone from the guides. And I'm just going to ask, what is it that we need to know today? Well, I'm certainly glad you asked that question, because sometimes you don't need a topic, Annette. Sometimes you don't need something to go into for this channeled message. We love having the openness to be able to deliver whatever messages are meant for the people who are listening to this at this time. The message that I have for you today, those listeners that are here at this moment, is that you are loved. That's it. It's very simple. You are loved. And there are so many people suffering right now in this human existence, feeling unloved, feeling unheard, unseen. And it's a good reminder. It's a simple reminder, but it is a good reminder that you are always loved. The question is, can you receive that love? Can you be in the space of receiving the love that I am giving to you right now? Do you feel it in your body? Do you feel resistance to that love? Do you feel like you want to jump out of your skin and run away? Do you feel like you could wrap yourself in it like a warm blanket? Check in with yourself and your body and how much you can receive that love. That's going to give you a really good idea as to where you are on your path to love, to loving yourself, to loving others, to non-judgment, to accepting divine source love, to being open to your path. Love is the key to everything. And it is that love within that guides you, that puts you in the places that you need to be. When you are uncertain about where you are or where you're going, being in a state of love just opens up those doors for you. It opens up those opportunities. And if you are in a state of restriction, contraction regarding love, you're going to have those doors sort of slammed in your face only because you are slamming those doors in your own face because you're saying, no, I don't want this. No, I don't want this love. No, I don't want this flow. I don't want this abundance. You are saying all of this with your resistance energy. So what can you say instead? You can say, I allow this love to come in through my body, through my energy field. I allow this love to flow through me and create everything that is meant for me in this human lifetime to be able to manifest abundance of the highest degree, to be able to have love, physical, human love in my life, and I receive it. All of you spend so much time giving. How often do you stop to receive? I would recommend that you do a practice this week. Practice receiving love. No matter where it's coming from, if it's coming from divine source energy, if it's coming from your guides, your angels, your family, your friends, your lovers, your husbands, your wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, anyone, it does not matter, your pets. Now, I can pretty much guarantee that most of you can receive the love from your pets. There's no resistance there. Can you do that? Can you be that open with a human? Can you be that open with another? Can you be that open with yourself? It is something that I wish for all of you to experience and to have every single minute of every single day. And if you did, you would never want for anything. Everything would work out for you in every single way. So test it. Where is your resistance? Where is it coming from? Are you able to receive? Feel it in your body. Close your eyes. Feel it. It's there. Your body will tell you exactly where you are in terms of being able to receive that love. And you may ask, if I'm in resistance, what do I do? How do I get out of resistance? You need to look at where that resistance is coming from. Sometimes that resistance can come from current life, past lives, parallel lives. Sometimes they can come from somebody else, a collective energy, family, upbringing. It can come from so many different places. Yes, you can do all of that work, and yes, it is important work. And how you can start to release this resistance right now in this moment is to say, I allow. I allow the openness to come in. I allow everything that is meant for me to come into my human experience. I allow love to come into my heart for all things. When you have this type of love for yourself, for others, for your pets, it's a beautiful thing. And it's also equally as beautiful to be able to receive that same love. This may be a simple message for this week, but it is an important one. And I, for one, feel that it is worth reminding. Receive this love. I love you. I have always loved you and always will. Beautiful. Thank you. Can you tell me who that was? Because it felt like a very, very different energy from my normal guides. That was definitely not Akula, because I know Akula's energy. This was a very beautiful, benevolent type of energy. Raphael, yes. Okay. Yeah, it was Archangel Raphael. Okay. Lovely. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I was going into this channel thinking that it would be one of my guides, and this energy sort of came in. So it was sort of out of the blue. And actually Archangel Raphael saying to me right now, like, no, it's not out of the blue. Like, I'm always here. But he just decided to take the opportunity to step in and give this message. So I very much appreciate that. Thank you so much. That was really beautiful. So I want to wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful week. And like I said, no new episode on Wednesday, but I will do a new channeling a week from today on Friday. And then on the 16th, we will have the new episode with Suzanne Anderson speaking about her new book, You Make Your Path by Walking. Have an amazing day and never stop exploring your soul, because it is the most important relationship you will ever have. If you are interested in learning more about me and the sessions that I do, feel free to go to my website at infinitesoullove.com. On all social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Infinite Soul Love 1111. Hey, and if you feel called, I would love it if you could rate The Heart of You on whatever streaming service you're using, whether it's Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Please take a moment, give it a review. It really does help the channel. Thanks so much.